Hey everybody, Rachel here from Rachthestamper.wordpress.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make this really cute, easy thank you card. This is using the designer series paper from, let me tell you what it's called, Festive Birthday. So this is the set that goes with the Fiesta Like There's No Mañana. So you could use any of these really cute designer series papers. So this one I did also using this really cool stamp from Thankful Thoughts. Use designer series paper. I embossed this, and then on the inside I just put an opposite strip of it and another little sentiment on the inside. So I'm going to show you a different card, and what we're going to do with this one is, that one was on Tempting Turquoise. Move this out of the way. And then we're going to do one on Melon Mambo. Okay, so this is 4 1/4 by 11. We're going to score this at 5 1/2. Okay, and then we're going to get a piece of designer series paper. So you do want to be mindful when you cut this, because if you want your stripes going horizontally or vertically, it's up to you. So I'm going to do mine vertical. So we're going to cut this at 4 by 5 1/4. So we want the 5 1/4 to be lengthwise. So we're going to put it at 5 1/4, and we're going to go down here with our cutting blade, and we're going to cut it to 4. Let's see if I did that right. And now we're going to move this to 4. And then we're going to use our cutting blade, and we're going to cut to 5 1/4. Should line up perfectly. There you go. I can't remember which way I said I wanted it to go, but we're going to go with that. All right, so now what we're going to do, we're going to put this to the side just for a second. Now, I really wanted to punch this out, but the 2 1/2 inch circle punch does not fit, and I have yet to get in my framelits, the circle framelits. So if you had probably 2 3/4 circle framelit or 3 inch, you could make it round, and I thought it would make it really cute, but I don't have that, so we're improvising. So what I'm going to do is I've already run over this with the Embossing Buddy. We're going to ink this up with Versamark, and what I'm going to try, I went over the whole paper with the Embossing Buddy, and what you do is, where's mine? Here it is. You just pull this little sucker out and you just run over it, and it reduces the static on the paper so you get a better crisp image. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to stamp this over this side. I'm going to stamp it down near the bottom so I get a better square. Okay. And I'm going to pull that up. Let me just fold this paper in half. We are going to pour black embossing powder. I thought this would also look really cool. Good Lord, tongue-tied, in copper, but we're going to stick with black. Okay, so we're going to shake that off and just give it a nice hard flick. Now, if you end up with these little lines, which everyone does from time to time, or if you end up with a spot that's not covered, first of all, with the spot that's not covered, you just scoop it back up and you just run it over your image again, and it'll pick up on all the spots that it missed. Just give it another good flick. And if you get these little lines here, just very gently rub them off with your fingernail, and it won't stick to them, and it should come out with a nice clear image. The other thing you can do is, if you have a teeny tiny paintbrush, you could also rub it off. All right, and that should come out pretty clear. All right, let me just dump this before I bring out my heat tool, and we'll get started. Okay, seems no matter how much you dump of this, when you put it back, there's always more. So that's a good thing about the Stampin' Up! Embossing powder. It seems to last forever. All right, so now the heat tool. So, sorry. Hum a nice tune while I do this. And you don't want to get this too close, because you don't want to burn your paper. So just keep it moving the whole time. And this is the greatest thing to watch melt. I remember the very first time I stamped 14 years ago, the coolest thing I ever saw, and still to this day, is when you heat up embossing powder and it melts. It's so neat. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to trim, and you can still see this little black, but you're not going to see it for long because we're going to fix it. So I'm going to trim this out, just eyeballing it. Doesn't have to be precise. Okay. And then we're going to take the Project Life corner round punch, and we're just going to punch out the corners just to round it off a little bit. And you could do, if you wanted to, you could just do the top 2 and leave the bottom. You could do 3 and leave a point. You know, you could do it many different ways, so don't feel like you have to do it my way. And once again, let me get one more piece of scrap. All right, and what we're going to do now is, so since this one is on Melon Mambo, we're going to do the opposite. We're going to do Tempting Turquoise. So I'm going to take my pad, pop it just so it splits, squeeze it together, and you're going to get a little pool of ink, okay? So we're going to take our Aquapainter and just wet the ink and just run it over top. It can be as dark or as light as you want. And since it has the embossing powder that is dried, it isn't going to affect it whatsoever. And it also covered up that little splotchy area that we did a goof on. So don't ever get rid of a card. Always try to save it, no matter what. I learned that the hard way. There's always something you can do to manipulate it to make it just the way you want it. I'm just going to run the heat gun just to dry this for a minute. Okay, just flip it for a sec just to get it so it's flat. Okay, and what we're going to do with this is we're going to put some dimensionals on. Now, as you can see from this one, I didn't wait for it to dry, so I would highly suggest putting them on all four corners just so it stays flat to your card. And you can always put one in the middle if you like. Okay. Come on. If you've watched me before, you know me and the dimensionals are always having an argument. Okay, so what we're going to do is assemble our card. Oops. Oh, wasn't that fancy? Look at that. I stuck it right to my desk. Okay, so we're going to fold this in half. Use our bone folder. Nice tight press. I'm going to put some, it's another great side over here. Put some snail. Put this down. Another thing you could do if you wanted to is pop this up on dimensionals as well. I'm going to take this and put it right in the center on the dimensional. Now, one other thing I forgot to tell you, we're going to do it like we did on the inside. Put a little bit of designer series paper the other way. So that is, I believe we decided 4. Yeah, so we're going to need a 4-inch piece. So I'm going to just use this right here. And we're going to cut a strip. We're going to make it about 3/4 of an inch by 4. So we're just going to go to the 4 mark. Flip it upside down here. Oh, hang on there for me for a second. I did this the silly way. Oops. All right, we're going to go just a little bit. Hold on. I'm going to pop that out. I did that one just a little bit backwards that time. Okay, let's just make sure. So we're about 3/4 of an inch, and we just want this by 4. So let me just trim just the teeniest bit off of here so it doesn't hang over. You could also always adhere it to your card and then just trim it on the inside. So this time we're going to put the flowers facing up. So this is a great way to get to display both sides of your designer series paper. We'll just put this right here at the bottom, just like that. And then the only other thing we're going to do is we're going to stamp a little sentiment on the inside. So your generosity is second only to your fabulosity. Why not? Okay, so again, we're going to use the black archival ink because it gives a really nice color. It's very deep and black. Really shows up true to the image. It really helps it to pop. Okay. So, same thing, just going to pop this down here. And, ooh, little crooked, but that's okay. Boom. Finished. Cute on the inside, cute on the outside. Super simple, super quick thank you cards. This, thank you so much. I really fell in love with this as soon as I saw it. So, if you don't have it yet, I think you should get it too because there are some excellent, excellent little sayings in here that go with it on the thank you. There's 1, 2, 3 different thank yous. Or a note of thanks, a tiny one, and a whole lot of really cute sayings that you could put on the inside as well. This is super easy to make, and again, as I said, if you have the 2 3/4 or 3-inch circle framelets, you could do it circular instead. You could also make this a smaller card. You just would have to put it in a gift bag or a box. So if you enjoyed watching this, I hope you'll subscribe to my YouTube channel at Rachthestamper. You can follow me on Pinterest at Rachthestamper. You can visit my blog, rachthestamper.wordpress.com. Right now we have a special going on that if you enter a comment with hashtag Stampin Contest, you can be entered to win a free prize. You just go to my blog hop and you can go to everyone's page and enter. So you can enter 10 times because there's 10 hoppers. So go to mine to start and then continue through everybody else's. They have some really, really great ideas. And I hope if you have any comments, you would leave me one. If you have any questions, suggestions for videos, I'm always open to them. Thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you have a great day.